Okay, kind of back at it again here. Gonna build this thing today, put it together. Run into any kind of issues, at least we can get it sorted out now before everything's all painted, stained, or whatever. Just a few updates. So I ordered, I mentioned earlier, this nice Wilkinson with the saddles are nice, nice saddles there. Individual springs here, screws for intonation, anodized, nice chrome, fits perfectly. The only thing is, well, the holes don't quite line up, but that's not a big deal. The only issue is this is a pass-through through the base of the guitar, through the bottom of the guitar, okay, through here, which I could pretty much do because I could just drill this out if I wanted to, but I don't because I'll probably screw it up. Now if I line these up, yeah, no, that won't even work. So anyhow, one of the nice things about building stuff, guitars or cars or whatever it might be, is you always wind up with stuff you'll never use. This is one of them. This I showed before would have been nice, but obviously that's not going to work because I need the fitting for the pickup. So that's the one that comes with the kit, and it's 3 for 3. So three trees, 3. I'm gonna swap these out for these ones. I'm gonna do that today. Then we're gonna start putting this thing together. A couple other things I got. This is for my Strat, my Araya Strat. This guitar here, again, it's got a really nice pinstripe job on it. This one I paid, I think, excuse me, a couple $100 for it. It's probably worth right now, I have to say, I've seen them on sale for like $150. And honestly, this thing compared to my Fender, blindfolded, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference. But this is your tremolo block, goes in here. I'm going to be changing that out for this one. This thing weighs a ton, like it's heavy, which is going to make this guitar heavy, but I'm going to see what the difference is with that. That's not going to happen today, but a future project. What else have I got here that's I don't need? There's my set of strings. I'm not going to use that when I do this trial setup here. But yeah, so let's get going here. So let's see if we can get these things out off here without creating too much of an issue. So we're just going to unscrew the saddles. They're fairly deep in there. Hopefully they I wanted the individual ones, which I could have bought one of these with the individual, but so you can set the intonation a little bit better, more accurately for each string. But this will do the trick, and I've seen a lot of them. You go to a guitar store, a lot of them just have the 3, so it can't be that bad. Let's back these off. Well, they certainly give you a lot of room to play with here. Okay, so these aren't too bad. I mean, they got individual grooves here. Hopefully you can see that for each string, and then you've got your string height screws here. Now, the only kicker here is it going to be the correct thread, which I'm thinking it will be. So make sure you get that. Okay, you want to have it open on top there with the Allen head for setting your intonation. This thing does screw on here nicely. So get it kind of where the other one is. It's pretty easy stuff. Whether this makes a difference or not, who knows, but I saw on the interweb that this gives a better sound and better sustain and all that kind of junk. But we shall find out. There we go. That one. So, carry on with this. And I'll update in a couple minutes once I get this part done. Okay, I've got this done. I'm using a good old Sears Craftsman drill I probably had for 40 odd years. Screw head on here isn't quite the right size. There we go. This is substantially quicker doing it this way. So it's like minus 26 out where I live with a wind chill, probably minus 40. So this is a prime time why you do stuff inside, because working on cars in a garage that's not heated is just not not feasible. Although I have done it. I have pulled engines out minus 20 and installed engines when it's been minus 20. So it's doable. But when I did that, I was kind of young and stupid. Now I've learned to wait. So anyhow, that's it. These are plug-in as opposed to solder or solderless connections. Okay, there you go. So this pickup here has its own solder, own connection. It's already in here. Now when I stain this, this is obviously going to come out, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. Pass this through. And that just kind of... Okay, there we go. It's easy if you get it the right way. So we'll keep this over here. Now we're going to grab the kit. Let's see what comes with this. Okay, so there's your strap pins here, a bunch of other small screws. I've got some Tupperware containers here to kind of keep everything as organized as I can. I don't have a ton of room here. Guitar cable. Which, actually, in a pinch they work. I prefer the better ones, but. And now I have the Allen screw for the barrels here for setting your string height, and a set of strings. So I'm going to put them here. I'm going to put that over there. This will go in here. Kind of keep that organized. Okay. And this is okay, so just gonna go like that. So here's the pot. They got big pots. They have a fairly nice feel to them. Switch looks not too bad. There's your cord jack. So, no, that's pretty easy. So these are numbered. Okay, so they thought of everything. So you can't really screw up on this. So that's either a 6 or a 9. And then on here, for this, is a 6 or a 9. So basically it's a matter of plugging that in. It's pretty easy. Okay, plug it in. Plug the other one in. Also, they're color coded, so you got the white and black to white and black, and white and red and black to red and black. Okay, so this one here we'll have to unplug. We'll feed that through here, and that will go kind of. Okay, it fits nice in there. And then this will go back in there. So soldering is okay. This is way better. Okay, now this is a ground wire. So this, I believe, gets fed through. Okay, so this is going to get fed through here. Okay, so I'll get this hooked up. No, wait a minute, shouldn't take that long. Shouldn't be that. It's more finicky than anything else. Actually, let's do this. Let's pull this apart, pull this out, get this wire. I remember the first guitar I made, barely got any sound out of it, and sure enough it turned out that it was a ground issue because I didn't run the ground. Okay, I'm going to mess around with this. You guys don't need to watch this part because it's going to take a little bit of finicky and I might swear. So we'll catch up in a bit. Okay, so what I did here is I fed a string, guitar string, through the hole there. Now where's my ground? Here. And then what I'll do is I'll tape this. Kind of wind this around here. Okay, so we'll take that. is going to be a good day. This hopefully will just pull right through. There we go. Okay, so we got that. All right, so I'm going to leave that. I'll plug these other ones in. This one, that's good. This one here gets plugged into this one here. So now we'll feed this through. And, okay, we'll plug that into here. They only go fit one way, which is nice. Okay, so now this, I'm gonna have to do that again because this is where, I don't know if you can see this or not, but that is where that ground wire is gonna come out. So I'll see if I can feed, just basically using the guitar string here, which is not the most cooperative. I think what I'll have to do here again is I'll unhook this or untape this. And we'll try that again. We'll go in this way. Unless it goes through, I don't think it will. No. Okay. Now, it's a fairly small hole, so I don't know whether I'm going to be able to tape that very much or not, but regular electrical wire would be easier to work with here, but this is all I got right now. Anything? There we go. Okay, so that is going to ride like that. You can see here. That camera a little bit better. So that's where it's going to sit like that. This is going to sit here. There's your ground. Okay. This is going to get this all nice and somewhat organized here if we can. It's a matter of fitting everything in. There we go. Oop. There. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so one thing I was looking for was there's a block for the neck. I'll leave that there for now. Let's get these things screwed down. So four screws for here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now let's see what that's the right size here. Now do the trick. So let's just, before we do that, I just want to make sure that I got that ground sitting where it needs to be. Yeah, it's good. Okay. Not going super tight. Don't have to. I don't want to strip them out, and it's not really necessary. And snug is good. So the fit between this and the pick guard here, there's a little bit of a gap. So we'll see. It is what it is. I'm not gonna worry about that. Next time I go to the guitar store, I'll see what a Fender looks like, but I'm pretty sure they fit a little bit better. So that's in. Gonna screw this in. Now I got see what we have here for fasteners. Screws here, but it doesn't really come with a whole bunch. But there are several different ones in here, so I'm thinking one of them is going to be right. Let's just set it in here. So, fairly big. Can't, here we go. It's countersunk here. I think these will do the trick. These ones here. At least that's what I'm going to go with. This is essentially real-time with the odd little bit of fiddling. Okay, that screw, that isn't the right one. And I don't have a ton of juice from here, too big. Okay, so that's what I got. And that's way too big. Wait a minute. Holy lick. It works. Okay, I'm just going to use my screwdriver on this one. Fairly big bit, but fits perfect. So that's the one we're going to go with. Okay, so that's that. Now we'll screw in the jack here. So it's going to be 4 smaller ones here. Let's see what we got. Switch 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll go with these. Let's see what we got here. Well, that one fits perfect. Okay. We'll do this with the screwdriver. Okay. So you kind of, it's got a lot of junk around here, but that's kind of what happens when you don't put stuff away. Let's adjust that camera up a bit. Now, pre-drilled holes don't line up 100% here, but they are there, so it'll just pull it in place. So the instructions that come with this are fairly generic. But as you can see, there's nothing really super complicated about this. You're just putting together, you're screwing stuff together here, and there's nothing really super technical, especially with these solderless wiring harness. It's makes it pretty easy. Whether it works or not, who knows, but we'll find out here soon enough. So I'm going to use, when I do string this initially, I'm going to use the strings that come with the kit, which typically are pretty cheap. And then I've got these strings here that I'm going to put on there for good. They're a 9-46, which is what I have on my Fenders and my other kit that I made. I just like the sound, and I want to keep them the same so that they do sound the same when I'm playing with my band. It's kind of consistency, I guess. And I like 9s they're easier to bend, or easier on the fingers. Again, you don't have to over tighten these things. I don't think it would take much to strip one of these out. So, there you go. That didn't take long. Well, 13 minutes or thereabouts. Okay, now we're going to make some room here. So, I'm going to get the neck ready to go on. Clean up here a little bit, make some room. Get the neck on it, string it up, and then I think should just be able to plug it in and play it. I'm just looking. If I wanted to, with this kit, I could drill the body, because it's got the holes already pre-drilled here for the strings if I want to do a through string. But if I did that on the back here, I'd have to get furls. I mean, it's something that you can look at doing, as opposed to running them through the back here. Gets you better arc over the barrels here, over the saddles. Gets made like a tighter fit as opposed to coming this way here, because it'd be pretty shallow. So that might be something down the road. I'll have to see if I can get the furls because you just can't run the strings through wood. You gotta have a plastic furl in there, and it's got to be correct. Like it's got to be stepped, I guess, because you have the end of the string. So it's got to be able to capture that inside the furl. So you got to be able to get it in there, and then it will lock in a little bit further up. But anyhow, I'm not going to do that today. But it is something to think about. Okay. Be back in a few minutes here once I get the neck here sorted. Okay, got everything sorted now. Just setting the guitar up here, the base, the body on a pad, just so I got some room. Here's the block. Now it's got a plastic base here. I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to go right to the wood. I don't know. I've heard on the interweb that may affect sustain or sound or something like that. I do have that on one of my guitars. I don't know. I can't tell the difference, to be honest with you, but I'm going to try it without it this time. So I've got my screws. I've got my drill bit proper here in the Okay, so let's slide this neck in. It's got a nice tight fit. There, goes in nice. I'll flip this over. Get a little here to support the neck. Didn't even know I had that there. I was just fishing through some junk. You never know what you find when you don't know what you have. Okay, my 4 screws here. So it's going to go in like that. The neck is already pre-drilled, I hope. I never really paid much attention. Usually they are. We'll find out soon enough. Gets cut. Okay, so get a little snug. That was easy. Now we have a guitar. I still have to waiting for my file to come in, although they're not that bad actually. But they are, you do catch your fingers on, they are there, which is kind of, it's like when you have a sunburn and you rub it with sandpaper and it's just some sort, there's just a nice feeling of nothing better than cutting your fingers off and bleeding while you're playing. I got to treat this. I got this stuff here, lemon oil. I got to treat that, which I'll do after I do the filing, after I do the frets. But it looks pretty good. So I'm going to string this up, and I'll get back once I have that strung. And I'll leave one string here so I can show you how the locking tuners work. Make it quite simple, quite easy, and fairly quick. So I'll get these strung up, and then we'll be back in a few minutes here. It'll be like nothing. It'll be like a flash. I guess one thing of note here is these aren't color coded. They're all the same. So I got to go by touchy-feely. So here's your E, your A, D, G, B, and E, and then IE. So not that difficult, but anyhow, let's get one strung through here, and sure enough, you let this get these unfurled here, they're gonna spring all over the place. There we go. So we got the low E. This one, got her. Okay, we'll set these here. Turn that, lose control of that, and we'll feed this through. So on the, move this over here. There, you got a better idea, better look there. So essentially, these locking tuners on the base of the tuner, you have this wheel. Okay, so what that does is there's a sleeve inside there. So you back that off so that it's open. Put your string through. Okay, and then you tighten that up. Okay, now then you start tuning it. So that's it. That's all it's to it. Get that as tight as you can get and pull it up. Now, right off the bat, this isn't got nothing for tone, so we're gonna have to raise the strings on the back here. I think. I hope that's all it is. Okay, so that's got about as high as I can get these things, and I still have no tone here. It's just fretting out on all the strings, so we got a problem. Not quite sure what to do there. Let me see. Well, we'll do some messing around here and see what I can come up with. It's nice if you can shim up the guitar, the neck, but in this case here I got to get it further down. Or let's just see here. I never really looked at the neck to see whether it was straight. So, okay, put this on here. It's fairly flat. So I think I can adjust the neck. I don't like doing this adjustment without the strings and having a proper tension on it, but we'll do that anyhow. That's the instructions you get with the kit. Stop, don't do it. Okay, so let's put the neck here. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a gap in there. So I think I can put a bit of an arc in there. It's a little too straight or going the wrong way here. Okay, now let's try it here. Okay, so that's getting better. You don't want to go too far and break the thing. Well, that's not wonderful. Well, these are the things you run into that, yeah, I guess you gotta be prepared. Now, let me get this, try this again here, there is a little bit of a gap here. I might be able to get this in a little tighter. A lot of room there. So, thinking this thing might come in handy, and I'll shim up the bridge. See if that makes any difference. Try it. I don't have to take it all apart here, I'll just lift it up. See if this is high enough to slide this under. And of course, it's just a little too big. But let's see if this does a test. Well, roadblock. I think I'm gonna shut it down here and do some figuring out. Now I'm just wondering whether these barrels, which it shouldn't matter, like when I swapped out the around here somewhere, when I swapped out these, it shouldn't matter. They're the same diameter, so that's not going to matter. Sometimes the nut, but let's try adjusting this again here. No, it's not doing anything. And it's getting tight, so I don't want to break it. And if I lift this off, it's getting better. Still got some buzz. We'll see how this looks. Normally want a little bit of a gap here, so it's like this, but this is fairly straight, and I'm running out of adjustment here. Well, okay. I'm gonna go with this. I'll catch up. I'll get this thing on tuned up. Hopefully this thing will sort itself out. Oh, wait a minute. I got this problem. I still have this shim in here. Let's see here. I do have another neck I can use if this one turns out to be a neck. But no. So I do have neck shims, which I can use to put in here. I just got to cut them down, I think. But that shouldn't be like that. Checking to see whether the length of the screws, these are taller anyhow, so there's more room on these ones. On the ones that I changed out, like they've got fairly good gap there. I'm gonna shut her down. I'm gonna try another neck here, see if it makes any difference. Okay, a little disappointing, but catch up in a bit. Okay, so sometimes when things don't quite go, this is not a halo. This is a light. It's not like I'm pure and got a halo over my head because I never do anything wrong and I don't swear. That's not true. But if things don't work, sometimes if you stare at something long enough, it'll work. So it's horribly out of tune still, or it keeps going out of tune, but I got action now. I did have to move the saddles up here a little bit. I could play around with that. I got a little bit of room there yet to mess around with that. One issue I'm having right now is the high E string is falling off or coming out of the tree, out of the nut. So I don't have a nut file, so I'm gonna have to order some nut files. Let's get this so we can see it. So it's pretty loose in there, and I don't know that it's out of line. I think it's okay, but I do have string trees here that I don't know how I got them, but they're in a brand new pack. They're a roller style, just like roller rockers on a car. Everything's better if it's a roller. So what I'm going to do here is I've already kind of marked the hole there. I'm going to drill a pilot hole. I'm going to put this in. This will, once it's in there, it is going to snug it into onto the nut. It'll snug it in there nicely. And let me just, okay, so once that's down, it's not coming out. So I think a little bit of it is because the string angle here straight across, there's not enough tension on the nut to make anything happen there. So I'm going to drill a pilot hole here. I don't want to go straight in because it is maple, it is a harder wood, so there we go. Not all the way through, but just enough I could feel it there. I might have been a little too far, but that won't matter. Okay, so got screws here now. Okay, so this screw bit works. Where is my screwdriver? Here it is. Change my glasses so I can see what I'm doing here. Get the magnifying glass. I'll tell you, this magnifying glass, it does wonders. Okay, so I've got tons of junk, tons of guitar stuff, car stuff, and I never throw it out. I got enough. I could probably start up a parts store with all the used stuff I've got and new stuff that I've never used. You think you have an idea, you want to go for it, you do it, and it just doesn't pan out, or you change direction. That's all part of the fun and games. But well, let's see here. I'm going to loosen this off. Move that. Make some room here. A little bit too much tension on the strings. I mean, I swore at one point there, I swore I had built my last engine. I had all the takeoff parts from it, which were good parts. The cylinder heads, I upgraded everything. I went from World Product Sportsman 2 heads to AFR 195s. Basically built went from on a 383 475 horse engine to roller rockers, but 1.5 roller rockers, and upgraded to AFR 210s, bigger cam, went to 1.6 rollers. So I sold my heads, I sold the Sportsman 2 heads, I sold the 1.5 roller rockers, I sold the cam, and I sold the block, the short block, sold it all basically. And of course what happens down the road is, not too long after, I got to build another engine, so I decided I want to build a 427 small block. So I had to go out and buy, I had the heads, I had to go out and buy new rockers, and all the stuff I sold, I had to rebuy. So I learned that I will not sell my stuff anymore. Keep it. If you're going to use it. Even if you don't use it, well, this isn't going anywhere. And if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, so this just stripped the screw head here, just stripped out. I got the pliers. Try and get that in there. So this is one of the reasons why you want to do a pre-assemble, because if you run into any issues and you got everything all painted up, everything's all finished, you're gonna run the risk of screwing up your finish, or if you're not messing, if you got to do some messing around and you don't like the setup, or something's not right and you wind up scratching it or whatever. So this way here, at least you got it all sorted. Now I think this is a very cheap kit. This is not going through here. I don't trust these screws, so I know I've got some in my little chest here. Probably got something that'll work. Those are probably a little too short. Here, let's try these. I'm gonna get two. Well, they just got to be able to fit through the here we are. They're a little long, they're a little big. Just kind of thread them through here. Okay, so that'll do. Now make sure. Okay, it's a little tight there, but more just the chrome finish on here. Try this again. you get older, your dexterity tends to deteriorate somewhat. There we go. Okay, so we got that. Okay, there we go. And I'll get this B string here strung proper. Oops, wrong string. Let's get that tightened up. Okay, we'll just try and get it. Never know which way I'm going on these things. Here, I got my tuner. Ooh, I was way high. B was G. So once the tension on this from the strings gets on the neck, it does bring the neck into line, which I didn't have. For some reason it's not reading the E. Oop. There we go. The tuners, I got to tighten the screws. This other thing here is on these ends here. There's a little bit of looseness, so I just got to snug them up a little bit, and that makes it a little bit better for tuning, but I'm not going to sweat that out just yet. Okay, now I'm going to get my amp set up here. We'll plug it in and see what happens. Catch up in a few minutes here. Okay, so here's my setup. I got this Spark Power Grid Spark Go, I think it's called. So it's a little amp, works off the phone, amp like an app off the phone here. I got 4 settings. I also have a foot pedal for it. I use this for practicing, mostly through my headphones when I'm practicing at home. But for this little thing here, puts out a hell of a lot of power for what it is. Now it's out of tune, so let's let's get it. I'll tune it up on this. It seems to. Okay. Come on, E-string doesn't, for some reason, is fussy. Okay. It's got a tuner built in here, and wasn't that expensive. I think it was a couple $100 or whatever. And then I have the wireless setup. I play with that or a cable, depending on. But if I want to get out into the dancing area, sometimes I'll do that. I'll use these things, because this way here, like, you got your computer, your one receiving end, and then this one here, and you can. Sounds like you got an intonation issue going on here. G's right on. Everything's a little off. E's on. E's pretty good. High E. But I'm not going to worry about that until I get everything done. You know, the next doesn't feel bad. It's rough. You can feel it's rough, but a little bit of work, this thing might just do the trick. Might just do the trick. So that's on the this pickup. I still have the plastic on that. So let's try the different settings. See what this thing does. Okay, front pickup, middle setting. This is on the bridge. This is full crank. Turn the tone down. So it's got some dust up there. The volume. I'll get some overdrive here. Well, I think I'm okay with this. When I play it through my regular foot pedal and the PA that we use with the band there, it'll sound different, obviously better, hopefully. But this little thing does all right. That's pretty easy. So now I got to take it all apart. Got to figure out what I'm going to do for finishing on it. Let's just turn this off and turn this off. So I've got this kit. Angelus acrylic leather paint. Best seller kit. So I've got, let's see what we got here. Got a ton of colors, of which I'm only gonna obviously use one and very little, so I'm gonna have enough to do, I don't know how many winters of building guitars. So I'm leaning towards a blue or a red, but this orange looks pretty good. So kind of going that route. I don't want to do this. I mean, you can do a, again, it's maple. It's a hard maple top. So I don't want to do a natural color. I want to put a pigment in it. So, but I'm thinking the blue is going to be. But I also have a nice green good Fender, kind of leaning. So I've got, those are my four. And there's yellow, pink, which not gonna happen, white, which ain't gonna happen, purple, maybe, whatever this is, lilac, I don't know, black, I don't want black, but I'll put that with the yellow, and then turquoise. So why don't you put in the comments what color you think I should put this to? Right now I'm happy that this thing works. I was a little worried there when the neck wasn't working or when the strings were fretting out, but I just got to get some tension on that neck. Everything seems to be doing just fine. So the neck is going to be satin finish, satin urethane. The head stock here is going to be the same color as the body. So whatever color I use, if I use the orange, it's going to go on here, the back, just on the face, and the back of the neck here, or the headstock will be the satin. So in the comments, feel free to make a suggestion, and also please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much, and we'll catch up here once I get this thing sorted out for colors. Okay. See you in a bit.